You're listening to Interactive Wrestling Radio, featuring the Interactive Interview, courtesy of WrestlingEpicenter.com.
Telephone, Sandman. Sandman, it's an honor to talk to you. How you doing, buddy?
Thanks, guys. I'm doing great. Been here with my 6-year-old son. Just got back from the ocean, so just relaxing, kicking back.
Excellent. Well, we definitely appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to come on and join the interactive interview.
Sure.
We're going to get right into some of the questions. The first question we had for you was, you were just at the ECW One Night Stand, obviously, in New York, and you got one of the biggest pops of the night. Did you expect to be over that huge?
Oh, what do you mean one of the biggest pops of the night? Having a 5-minute long pop.
Yeah,
you know,
I would say it's the biggest
pop. I think God is 10 more seconds bigger pop than me, but besides that, yeah, obviously the biggest pop of the night. I'm used to it. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know, I'm just used to it. It wasn't like it was any different than any other time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well,
I've worked with all those guys before, you know, and not saying that I'm any better than them or not, it's just that I can relate to the audience a little bit better than most wrestlers.
You had, one of the reactions that you got was the theme song, and Mick Foley made the call. The crowd is actually singing the theme song. Do you think the Enter Sandman theme song helps you out a big time when you come out to the ring?
Well, I think this song came out in like, I don't know, I want to say like 93 or something like that. I really didn't start using it until 97, but I had already started doing my like drinking and smoking and stuff like that, but I guess I guess it really had to have.
Excellent. You mentioned drinking and smoking. Smoking is something that Steve Austin did quite heavily. Do you feel that Steve? Yeah, drinking. Okay. Yeah, I think I got it right. I might have gotten it wrong, but we'll have to check the tape later on after we finish up here. I got to ask you this question though. Do you think Steve Austin borrowed a lot from your character, as many people seem to think he has?
I don't know. I don't think me and him are the same character at all.
You know, I'd have to tend to agree with that.
Yeah, I don't know. A lot of people, you know, I come out drinking a beer, I smash it against my head, I bleed before I get into the ring. Austin used to have a beer after his match. How close is that? You know what I mean? Hey, I was the first one to bring a kendo stick to the ring. I was the first one to ever do an arm drag, a hip toss. You know, everybody steals something from somebody somewhere. You know what I mean? It's so hard to do something original, and maybe that's the problem with wrestling right now. But no, I don't. No, Steve's totally cool with me.
Yeah, I got to believe that there's actually like a difference in character. You seem to portray more of a common man that's out there and is going to bust his ass and do what he can to give the fans a good show.
I'm the guy that's sitting in your hometown bar that wants to play in a game of pool, and once I lose, I want to beat you up.
Exactly, and I don't think Steve Austin really portrays that same kind of character, so I definitely think there's a big difference between the two of you.
Yeah, so do I.
Now, we'd like to ask you this. Since the ECW One Night Stand pay-per-view, have you been contacted at all by the WWE to do any work for them?
No.
No?
What do you think of the rumors that there might be doing a ECW house show string of events?
I never even heard. I don't pay attention to wrestling. You know what I mean? I'm so far removed from I don't go on the internet. I don't watch it. You know, if I'm with my 6-year-old son and he's in my house on like a Thursday or whatever, I'll watch SmackDown sometimes. But besides that, I know absolutely nothing about this business.
Wow.
I got more important things to do.
Chuck, I believe we have a caller?
Yeah, just give me 1 minute. Why don't you ask another question? I'll get him on the line.
Absolutely, brother. Looking at the One Night Stand pay-per-view, I thought it was a fair representation of what ECW actually was. Do you believe that ECW One Night Stand actually delivered the ECW feel?
I haven't seen any part of the pay. The only thing I saw from the pay, like when I was in the back, we were going over our match the whole time. Me, Dreamer, the Dudleys, Johnny Ace. We had all the run-ins and stuff like that. We never started to put our match together until right after the pay-per-view had started, and we took a break because Dreamer had to go do something. The only thing that I saw of the pay-per-view was the finish of Jericho, Justin, and Lance Storm, I think it was. I've seen them maybe like 10 seconds of the pay-per-view, so I haven't seen any of. I didn't see any of the matches because I was going over my own, and we got it together about 3 minutes before I started to go out, before Paul Lee hit the ring to start a whole like 45-minute segment. So I didn't see any of it.
I just recently watched the video of the final ECW show ever, which was in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, and it kind of mirrored the One Night Stand ending with the beer bash at the end.
I don't remember that at all.
You don't remember that at all? Okay, well, that was our question of what was your memory of that?
No, I have no idea. What did we do?
It was a beer bash. The last match that ever took place in ECW, and you might not even be aware of this, was you against Just Incredible in the main event. And
what?
Yeah. That's
weird. I did that. That's a good little trivia question.
Yeah.
Somebody would have asked me, I wouldn't even have known. So what did we do? Did we all come out to the ring afterwards?
Yeah, it was Tommy, Francine was there, Super Crazy came out, and he kept panning to the camera. It was an RF video camera, and everybody just got in the face of the camera and, was drinking, and some guys were crying, some guys weren't, and I really thought it was, like, emotional, but I don't know.
I don't even remember that.
Wow.
There was some really foggy times in ECW.
Especially towards the end, or no?
No, the whole time.
Is that like personal foggy or business-wise foggy?
Personal foggy. Just I was drunk the whole time. Literally. I would start drinking. I wouldn't party at home. I would party when I was on the road. Whenever I left Friday morning, when I was in my house in Salt Lake City, my house in Florida, my house in Philly, whenever I left, I got on the plane, I started drinking. I didn't stop until I got home on Sunday night.
Wow.
I stayed up the whole weekend.
That's pretty impressive, dude. That's very impressive.
Ask anybody. They know it. I never slept on the weekend. Me and Paul Heyman never slept any weekend of ECW. Well, Paulie was doing it straight. I don't know how he managed that. But he's a nut anyway.
Yeah. I mean, what is your opinion of Paul? Did he ever owe you any money? Do you have any ill will towards Paul at all?
Nah, no ill will towards Paul whatsoever. He helped make the Sandman who he is.
Yeah, I agree with that. Of course, they didn't call you the Sandman in WCW. They called you Hardcore Hack. I was just curious what that name came from.
Hack's what my 6-year-old son calls me, Hack. My other son and my other daughter call me Hack. My grandmother calls me Hack. I've had that name since I was 5 years old. My older brother gave it to me. So they didn't want to use the Sandman. So Kevin Nash had just got the book, and he goes, he's like, Sandman, what do you want to call it? He says, we can't use Sandman. I said, how about Hack? He goes, great, Hardcore Hack. Literally 10-second conversation.
Wow. And do you regret your time in WCW at all? Do you think they could have done more with you?
Hell no. They did way more than I ever expected.
Really?
Yep.
That's pretty impressive.
I didn't expect nothing when I got there.
Well, I mean, if you remember, Mikey Whipwreck had actually come in right before you, and he lasted about 2 months.
Mikey came in after me.
After, yeah.
He was the first. Mikey's problem was he had a great match. His first match, they never used him again. I just watched it on my son popped in a tape of the pay-per-view. It's me, Raven, and Bigelow, and then Mikey had a great match with Billy Kidman, his first pay-per-view in, which I didn't even think he had done any TV yet. They opened him up on the pay-per-view, had a great match, and like, this kid's good. We can't use him. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, that was what WCW did. If people actually like something, they took it away from them.
Yeah, sure, because you got to understand, there's people higher up in the company that have jobs that want to keep them.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe we have a caller coming in. This is another James. James, you there?
Hey, what's Sandman?
What up, James?
Hey, how you doing, man?
Good.
You freaking rock, dude.
Thanks.
Okay, I heard a rumor that Missy Hyatt talked a lot about having to have sex with you to calm you down. Is this true?
What?
Dude, I heard a rumor that she had to have sex with you to calm you down. Is this
That's
true?
why they're called rumors.
Huh?
That's why they're called rumors.
Wow. Yeah, she came on the show, and she was saying that you were too nervous to work with her, so you had to sleep with her to calm yourself down.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so.
I was too nervous to work with her?
Yeah.
But at that point, I believe she was the has-been, and I was the one on my way up. Think about it.
Yeah.
Where was her career when she came out with me?
Yeah.
Just think about it. Where the hell was her career when we started to use her in ECW?
Well, she was 3 years removed from WCW. Right.
At least she was nowhere, a nobody.
Right.
A has-been.
And
still is.
Wow. So I take it you don't...
She's still selling pictures. I call them her bicentennial photos. If you ever go to a show with her, she shows those pictures of her from like 15, 20 years ago. I mean, she was hot then, but now she had way too much plastic surgery. No, but she's cool. But she can say whatever the hell she wants. It doesn't bother me a bit.
You mentioned that you're sitting there with your kid, and it'd be remiss.
He's beating the kendo stick against his head right now. Here, listen, do it, Albert. That's my 6-year-old son beating the kendo against his forehead.
Like son,
He's hilarious.
You think he's going to go follow in your footsteps?
I hope not. I don't want him anywhere near this business.
Wow.
Now, when you say that, do you kind of have some animosity toward the business in general, maybe by the way you've been treated personally?
Just by you need your career literally can be over in any match. You know what I mean? You need something more stable than that.
We were talking a little bit about how you felt toward the business, and you said that you think people need a little something more stable because your career can be over at any time.
Yeah, I've broken my neck. I broke 22 bones from like 95 to like 2002. Between 5 ribs on one side, 4 on the other, my neck, my fingers, my knee, my ankle. You just get it's just not stable enough. And it's one out of it. If I went to my wrestling school, if there was 100 people that went to my wrestling school, I was the only one that ever made it anywhere to actually make any money. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I think I'm going to send my kid to Harvard, let him get his MBA in something, be a doctor, be a lawyer, not a professional wrestler. God.
Now, do you think that the risks involved with wrestling are maybe a little bit less on the side of the WWE because the style they work, obviously, versus the ECW?
Nah. Well, tell Stevie Richards that.
Good point.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can get your face crunched. You can get your neck broken anytime, anywhere.
I think that
it's easy. You could die in your own bathroom. You don't think it's hard to die out there in the ring, no matter how fake you think it is or how real it is. You know what I mean? Shit happens.
Yeah, that's definitely the way to put it. You just were hanging out with your kid, and I wanted to ask you this question. Of course, I'd be remiss to go by this entire interview without mentioning the fact that, or the storyline that involved Raven kidnapping your family, and I mean that was just so well done. It pulled on the heartstrings. What was your mental capacity going into that, knowing that your family is going to be put in the limelight like that? Were they cool with it?
I loved it. Paulie actually told me we were in Allentown, Pennsylvania, and Paulie calls me over. He goes, I got this great idea. This is after I think he had just taken my wife from me. And I think it was coming off of Macaulay Culkin's Home Alone movie. He goes, we're going to bring in Macaulay Culkin, and he's going to be your son, and Raven's going to take him. I'm like, Paul, would you shut up? Why don't we just use my own son? He goes, okay, great. We'll start it next week. So, yeah, I loved it. And my son right now is right about the same age as my old... That little guy that you saw on TV is now as big as I am.
Wow.
He's 15 years old, and he's my size right now, So the 6-year-old I got, I think he was 5.5 when we started that angle, so he doesn't even remember that much about it. He never even puts it over like it was ever even part of his life. But I think he still thinks somewhere in his heart that it was cool. And to me, it was even cooler because he was the youngest kid ever in the ring,
Yeah.
Yeah, plus you get to share, what you do, for your life with your family, which is always a nice thing to do, bring your kids to work kind of a day.
Yeah, exactly. I was living my life's dream, so I thought it was cool that that I got to share it with the rest of them.
Exactly.
And my daughter was always pissed off about it too, because I got a daughter. I tell you that my daughter, when we were at break there, she's in Vegas right now. She's 18, and she always felt a little shunned because she didn't get to do something like that. So then when I was at XPW, I used her a little bit in an angle with like that pogo to crown and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Wow. I'd be pretty nervous to use my daughter in an XPW company, knowing what they do.
Hey, I'm out there in the ring with her, so I know she's safe.
Right.
You actually spent some time in WCW as a hardcore hack.
We already asked
that. You already asked that?
Yeah, we already covered that, brother. Where were you?
I was trying to get the call on the line, actually.
Okay, yeah.
The other one's a screening caller.
Right. See, you can't multitask at once, dude. Question.
It gets tricky, but we try.
We
had to patch them in, it gets a little tricky every now and again.
Yeah. Of course, they just released The Rise and Fall of ECW, which is a documentary on the life and times of ECW, so to speak. And there's another one now called Forever Hardcore, which I believe you're a part of.
I never even heard of that.
Wow. Then they should probably pay you for their advertising because they're showing advertisements of you on it. So.
I never knew there was another video out.
What did you think of Rise and Fall of ECW, or have you even seen it?
I think did I see that? Oh, yeah. I saw it. I actually saw it like the week the week or so before the pay-per-view, and nothing really in my head that sticks out that shocks me or anything like that. You know what I mean? Except a lot of brutal honesty.
Mm.
You know, a lot of brutal honesty from everybody.
You know, I have to be honest with you in the vein of brutal honesty. I don't feel like that the WWE really did a lot of justice to ECW because there's a lot of main stars that weren't very well portrayed on that DVD. Can you speak to that at all?
I don't care.
Excellent.
I don't care. We can do it. Look, it's Vince's show. It's Vince's money. Let him do whatever the hell he wants.
It's Vince's ball. He can play.
Judge him.
Right. It's Vince's ball. He can run with it. Whatever.
Absolutely. And
yeah.
He can take it and go home if he wants.
Absolutely, and that's what everybody thought he would, but he brought it out for them.
That's definitely in a Raven sense. If Raven don't like the game, he takes his ball and goes home. And if you ever have him on, tell him I said it.
Oh, we had him on. I think it was about 10 minutes in. He's like, "I gotta go, bye." And
yeah,
great.
He didn't like how it was going. He took his ball and ran.
Oh yeah, that was not fun.
He did.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting.
He tried to tell me he got me. He bought the only thing he's ever bought me. He bought me in his life besides he stole my chess computer. He stole a doormat from out in front of my house that said "Go away." He steals all this shit from me, and then so he goes, I bought you something. So and he goes, you got to call me back. So he's trying to bait and switch me here. So he tells me I bought you this solid sterling silver barbed wire necklace. So I'm using this hair dye, right? And this hair dye, and somehow the hair dye got on the necklace. Of course, the necklace is steel with a spray painted silver coating on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man. So did the dye running out or no?
Yeah. So it's rusted. So it's sterling silver barbed wire necklace is rusted.
Oh shit.
Hey, I'll tell you what. That could be still a pretty cool look, though, right?
Yeah, I think it's cool.
Yeah, there you go, man.
It leaves a ring around my neck though when I wear it now.
Oh, well, that's We're going to close out this interview here with a few word associations, if that's okay with you.
Let's go.
Yep, if you have any stories, feel free to share them.
Okay.
We're going to start out with the first name we have on our list as Tommy Dreamer.
Fantastic guy, maybe too nice for his own good.
How about the Queen of Extreme, Francine?
Great chick.
Just incredible.
A fantastic guy. He's definitely too nice for his own good.
Two more left for you. How about Terry Funk?
Walking living legend.
And the last one I have for you, and I think you pretty much predicted, is Paul Heyman.
Evil genius.
Yeah, that seems to be what Raven said, too.
First time we've heard that one.
Yeah, everybody says evil genius. Raven said the exact same thing. So.
Did he?
Yeah, exactly those words. Yeah, man.
Sandman, we appreciate you taking the time out of your day to join us. I'm sure the fans are loving this. Once again, you're listening to the interactive interview. Sandman, thanks for joining us. You have a good one, buddy.
Thanks, guys. The Blaze rocks.
Oh, that's right,
brother. You guys your promo, too, now.
Thanks a lot, dude.
All right, later.